Okay, good morning, my fellow peacemakers.
Morning,
Good morning. Okay, I am Professor Rowena Fajardo Zoilo. Just call me Ma'am Wheng. Ma'am Wheng. Currently, I am the head of the consultancy, linkages, and other support services of the Bicol University Extension Service Center, Legazpi City, Albay, Philippines. Okay. Part of my work in the university is to also look for possible partners at the local, national, and international levels where we can forge partnership in academics, extension, and research. And we are very glad because we have formally signed our Memorandum of Cooperation with the American University of Sovereign Nations just last week when Professor Daryl and Miss Ananya visited our institution. The Memorandum of Cooperation contains possible research and extension undertakings, faculty and student exchanges, and we also welcome faculty and students to study in our university. It was on April 2014 when I first attended the Youth Peace Ambassador Training Workshop in Arizona, USA. Inspired by the presence of the young ones, of course, there are a lot of people here, young ones, whose idealism and creativity in their quest to contribute to peace in their own little ways, I also have to do my own share. We did a lot of programs, projects, and activities developing and enhancing the capabilities of the Filipino youth back in the Philippines. We had this I can, just what Professor Darren said. I can, very positive words, I can, creating a network of young visionaries. A gathering of youth creating impact-driven school and community-based projects responding to the Millennium Development Goals. In May 2015, together with my student Paulo, we attended the YPA in Purwokerto, Indonesia. I was then awarded as a Youth Peace Ambassador. Thanks to Professor Daryl and of course to other AUSN alumni and faculty for the motivation and unselfish sharing of their ideas, I finished my post-degree certificate in community and peace in Chulalongkorn University, particularly in Thailand. Last June 2016, now I am adopting the AUSN strategies and sharing a lot of experiences and ideas as to my students as a social science professor. Last October 26 to 28, 2016, I formally introduced AUSN to Bicol University and other higher education institutions in the Philippines through the Global Alternative Technologies in Education Conference, which we also held at Casablanca Hotel Convention Center. We took the opportunity for Professor Daryl to meet the ICANN, the young visionaries, who have been greatly inspired to positively act and do some simple peace projects to other people, young as they are. Some of them are actually professionals now. We also had the ICANN Promote Peace Forum to our undergraduate students taking peace and security studies. For the past 3 days that we have been discussing about peace, I also said it's about time. I also have to handle a peace-related subject in the course to be able to share all the learnings that we have been gaining here. Hopefully, I will be able to present the first pages of my studies entitled Bioethics in Philippine Higher Education. I would like to find out how bioethics is being offered in the curriculum and of course as a subject in the tertiary education and the teaching effectiveness of bioethics in the Philippine setting. Now, the second part of my presentation is the capacity building on disaster risk reduction management through sharing of Philippines. I actually have with me in this YPA 13 my two sons, of course. I have Angelo and of course CJ. Then of course my colleagues in the Bicol University, Professor Ma'am Emily, please stand. Yan, si Ma'am Emily. And of course, si Professor Jericho Villarin. Okay. They are actually two of my partners in the implementation of the program, Capacity Building for Formulating Participatory Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Program through Sharing Move Philippines. So they will be actually presenting the paper and also to experience the same. But of course, before I pass on the microphone to Ma'am Emily to start with the topic, I would like to share this, my favorite quote about love and peace. Love is our way to peace. Agree? Okay. Love is our way to peace. Peace on earth begins with the beating of every human heart. Let us promote love among the hearts of men and women of our time. It is when there is true love that we can promote sharing, generosity, justice, and goodwill. So being a youth peace ambassador, you share, you are generous, just, and spreads the goodwill. A peaceful and a loving world begins with a peaceful and a loving heart. Agree? Okay, so I now turn over the microphone to Professor Emily Docot. Madam?
Good morning. My task today is to give you some simple exercises to condition your mind and body for today's activity. So may I ask everybody to please stand. This is just a 5-step exercise. Very simple. I'll be asking you, ready na, ready na? Your answer should be, aha, aha. Meaning, are you ready? Okay. Ready na, ready na? Ready na, ready na? Ready na, ready na? Okay, so let's start. The first step is like this, ano? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have it in 8 counts. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the first step. Okay, second, this one. Okay, 1. You cross your hands, no? So left over right. Then 2. But the other one is pointing that way, no? Your finger. 2. Okay. 3, 4. And then reverse. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Means watch, listen, listen. So that's one of the precautionary measures when it comes to disaster. The second one, or the second group of exercises, are the 4 don'ts. First one is don't look back, or the last one I should say. The last one is don't look back, don't talk, don't push, and then what's the other one? Don't run. Okay, so those are the 4 don'ts that we should remember during disaster. So later on, I will be showing you as to which part of the station of the program are those exercises or part of. So let's start now with the formal presentation of the paper or the program. Now the program is about capacity building for formulating participatory disaster risk reduction and management program through sharing in the Philippines. Now let's have this introduction first. Now the Philippines is a country at risk to climate change and susceptible to natural hazards, being situated in the Pacific Ring of Fire. And due to its location, the country is prone to occurrences of earthquake, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and it allows an average of 20 typhoons per year and 5 to 7 which can be destructive. Now I'll be showing you the distribution of volcanoes in the Philippines. So those are the active and inactive volcanoes, and also the potentially active volcanoes. So that is how vulnerable, or the Philippines is quite exposed to those hazards. So we do have a lot of volcanoes in the Philippines. Now, I'll be showing you the Philippines is also located along the typhoon belt. So that's why we experience a lot of typhoons. So those are the areas. So we have now Indonesia, where Dr. Jericho came from, and then the other areas. Now let's proceed now to Bicol region. Now Bicol region is located at the southeastern part of Luzon. Now the Bicol region is composed of 6 provinces. These are Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, Albay, Sorsogon, and Masbate. Now we're going to focus on Albay. So Albay has the total land area of 2,575 square kilometers. Now Albay is composed of 80 municipalities, 3 component cities. These cities are Legazpi, Ligao, and Tabaco. Now Legazpi is the place where it came from, and it's where Bicol University is located. Now Albay, there are 2 natural disasters in Albay, or hazards, are classified into 2. The first one is geologic, and then the second one is hydrometeorologic. So those are the 2 hazards in which our province are exposed to. Now geologic pertains to earthquake or earthquake-induced hazards, and also volcanic eruption. Now the hydrometeorologic hazard pertains to typhoon, flood, hurricane, tsunamis, and those who are connected with water and weather. Okay, now Albay province is a disaster paradise. So we have floods, lahar, lava flow, pyroclastic flow, and volcanic ash falls during volcanic eruptions. Earthquake, tsunamis, landslides are some of the natural calamities that our Albayanos experiences. By the way, Albayanus pertains to people who reside in Albay. So that's how we call people who reside in Albay as Albayanus. So in 2006, two typhoons, the Typhoon Milenio and the Typhoon Rowena, caused lahar due to the intensity of rainfall and accumulated volcanic ashes on the Wheng volcano. Now, I'll be showing you the perfectly or similarly or almost perfectly shaped cone volcano. That is the Wheng volcano. So that is located in Albay. However, the next picture that I will be showing you is the aftermath of typhoon. So these pictures are to show the aftermath of typhoon. Though we have beautiful volcano, but look at the devastation or the aftermath of typhoons and flood. And then this picture was taken after Typhoon Rowena, which affected 71,000 families and more than 1,000 casualties or deaths. Now, because of those experiences, the Albay Provincial Safety and Emergency Management Office was created way back in 1995 by the provincial government of Albay. So in short, it is called as APSEMO. So it engaged in DRM, Disaster Risk Reduction Management, and the coordination since its institutionalization. With the enactment of Republic Act 10121, or the Disaster Risk Reduction Management Act of 2010, the APSEMO now provided a well-organized mechanism on preemptive evacuation during disaster and emergencies. However, there are some challenges which need to be addressed, such as ensuring the safety of schools, use of evacuation centers, preparation of the onset disasters, such as earthquakes and tsunamis. And there is also need to improve disaster prevention awareness in the level of institutions, particularly the local government units, school, children, and the volunteers. So through schools, although schools and barangays are often conducting evacuation drills as part of the DRM activities, there is still a need to diversify DRM advocacies to enhance the awareness of the pupils, students, teachers, and the community. So that is now the beginning of the Moon Philippines. Now we have here our friend Yuji from Japan, a Jericho volunteer, presented now the program, the Moon Philippines, to the BU Extension Office. That one I think is the Director of Extension. The other one at the bottom I think is the future Director of Extension. No, just kidding. Okay, so the next one is Yuji and Yuta, the two Jericho volunteers now, presented the program to BUC ILS, or Bicol University College of Education Integrated Laboratory School Elementary Department. So they presented the concept about the Smooth Philippines. And then after that, they had a meeting with the provincial government and other agencies such as LGUs, Department of Education, and support groups for the launching of the said activity or program. Now let's have the brief description of the program. The project or the program was launched under the auspices or the support of the Japan Foundation and Capital University in Cagayan de Oro City, which aims to capacitate elementary school children in disaster risk reduction and management through Moon Philippines. The project has the objective of educating the youngster on disaster preparedness through games and movements rather than lecture, so just like what you did a while ago. It also plans to mimic actual disaster risk reduction and management practices, so that in times of emergency, the children can automatically recall moves they learned that are designed for earthquake and fire evacuation, disaster kit preparation, assisting and transporting injured person. So the project was conceptualized by the Japan Foundation and the Capital University of Cagayan de Oro in cooperation with AIG, Plus 63 Design, Plus Arts, and Asia Center of Japan. So those companies are based in Japan. So following the devastating flash flood, which claimed at least 1,500 lives in Cagayan de Oro City during the height of Typhoon Sender in 2012. It was eventually adopted by Japan International Cooperating Agency, or the JICA, partnered with ABSEMO and Bicol University for program propagation and dissemination throughout the country. It was initially launched in the province of Albay through ABSEMO in partnership with Bicol University Department of Education and selected municipalities. Now, considering the teachers and pupils as clients, the Bicol University College of Education through its different departments, from the elementary, secondary, and tertiary levels, readily accepted the challenge to take lead in the implementation of the Good Philippines in the close coordination with ABSEMO and BUESC. A core team was organized, composed of teachers, both from elementary and high school, together with the university-wide volunteers. So it was piloted with 80 grades 5 and 6 pupils of BUCILS Elementary Department. So let's have now the executive summary. The Bicol University as an academic institution is mandated to perform 3 functions. And these are instruction, research, and extension. Bicol University brings itself to the community to transfer our research-based technologies through extension services. As defined, extension is an alternative educational process and related services undertaken with the various clienteles of the university for the purpose of initiating, catalyzing, sustaining, and widening the opportunities and creating more favorable future-like teaching or learning experiences for the students and for the institution. It involves development of the competency and the will to excel to attain individual, community, national, and global goals. So aligned with the Bicol University's vision towards a world-class university, producing leaders and change agents for social transformation and development, the BU College of Education's mission is likewise to give professional and technical training and provide advanced and specialized instruction in literature, philosophy, science, and arts, besides providing the promotion of technological researchers, extension service to the community, and resource generation to its various productive endeavors to complement the university mandates of instruction, research, and extension. So with the pedagogy of teaching children on how to learn, the SERV program is headed by the college. So the provincial government of Albay, through the ABSEMO, conducted a training for teachers and volunteers last August 2015, and piloted the program to the elementary pupils of the College of Education, and it featured interagency collaboration on how grade school pupils are capacitated in the DRRM using simple dance steps, storytelling, quizzes, and other strategies and teaching. Now, these are the services covered by the MOOC Philippines. So the first one is continuing education. So the program transfers or enhances the knowledge, values, and the skills of the teachers, volunteers, and pupils in a disaster risk reduction management. So I'll be showing you pictures showing continuing knowledge. Second one is communication media technologies. So through the program, the trainers were able to test in the Oras ng Kahandaan program, which means time to prepare, or to be prepared. DZRCFM at 11 a.m. to 12 noon to share the technologies to the listeners on teaching DRM to elementary pupils, develop video and PowerPoint presentation used during the lectures and reports presented by the JICA volunteers and program implementers to various audiences. Okay, so there we go. Okay. The next one is consultancy, linkages, and other support services. So these serve as the entry point of the college to get involved in the program. Because of the strong partnership between the province of Albay and the BU, championing in the CCA and the DRN, Jericho identified BU as the lead institution in implementation of the program. So thus, the partnership was formalized through the Memorandum of Understanding. So that's during the meeting with the LGUs. The second one is the moral signing, or the Memorandum of Understanding, together with Dr. Darrell. And then the other one at the bottom is also a meeting with the government officials. There you go, CJ. You're there. Okay. The fourth one is the development of action research. So studies can be conducted based on the best practices and experiences in its implementation. So results of the study can be used to further enhance the program, and it can come up with locally adapted technology with outby scenario as references. So best practices and experiences on the implementation of the program were likewise presented in the various occasions, modeling how research, extension, and instruction mandates will interface in one community development program. So that's the fourth one. Okay. So the duration of the program, it started in August 2015 today. So till now, we're doing this program. And then the sources of fund, the JICA, the Japan's International Cooperating Agency, the Bicol University, and of course the LGU. The leakages. So, companies based on Japan, the provincial governmental body, the Bicol University, the APSIMO, the Department of Education, and the CHED. And then, these are the objectives of the program. First one is to train teachers and volunteers who will serve as trainers and facilitators in the rollout of the New Philippines to the school children. The second objective is to heighten the awareness of children and develop their leadership skills on disaster risk reduction and management. And then the third one is to coordinate with local government units, public and private elementary schools, including support groups and implementation of the program. And then the fourth, develop and adopt a local version of the New Philippines. So a localized version. So depending on your locality, because each locality has different hazards which they are being exposed to. And then the last one is conduct monitoring and evaluation of the program. That's the last one. So this is now the launching of the New Philippines in Albay and Bicol University College of Education grounds. And that was in August 15, 2015. And then, so we have now the launching in the Balong Centrum, that's in Legazpi City. The trainers of trainer. Okay, and then the next one, the training of trainers, I should say. So New Philippines in Santo Domingo, this was in September 19, 2015. And then the next one is in October 9, 2015, that is in Libon, Albay. So, and then the other one is in San Lorenzo Elementary School, located in Tabaco City. So that was in November 14, 2015. And February 29, 2016, a day after my birthday, that is in Little Albay. And then January 23, 2016, in Tiri Central School, together. So, this is how the program is realized. So the JICA and the Capital University are responsible for the conceptualization of the program. And then partnership with the APSIMO, and we have the Bicol University Extension Office, BUCE, and the LGUs we have visited and we conducted training of trainers, and teachers, volunteers, pupils, bargaining members. And the output is our resilient community. And then the methodology. So children are vulnerable to disaster. Most of their time is spent in schooling. Thus, they must know how to deal with the occurrences related to environmental hazards. Mobility's program was created to capacitate children in both rural and urban communities to withstand the negative impacts of extreme weather events. So these are the program. We have the two mascots. The bigger one is Mon the monkey. The smaller one is Tara the tarantula. So Mon the monkey pertains to clever, the wise, and another one is the vulnerable. So it pertains to, I think, the children, the smaller ones. So these are the stations, or these are the activities in that program. So walk, don't waddle, be wise, improvise, up, shake, and evacuate, cards of course, ready, race, the math that matters, connect the objects, and the tail of the prepared. Okay, so let's go over with that one by one. So walk, don't waddle. So the goal of this obstacle, or this activity, is to properly navigate flood. So perhaps you were wondering why they were in mask or goggles. Just is to simulate the limited vision. So if in case the navigation or crossing the flooded area happened during the night time, so they're able now to simulate limited vision or limited vision. So the next one is be wise, improvise. So in this activity, the children are given cards, in which in this card, they are going to think of way to improvise those objects found in those cards in the evacuation center. So that is be wise, improvise, and they have the start and then the finish line. So if the children got the answer correctly, they're going to proceed to the next one, step 1, 2, 3, and 4. If they have done the activity correctly, they're going to stay at the start or starting level. So the next one is the shake, evacuate. So it includes the 4 downs, the one that I mentioned. And then shake, evacuate also includes the duck, cover, and hold for earthquake. And we also have another one for fire, the hold, cover, and the hold, cover, and duck. It's a different one. So perhaps if you have that activity, she would appreciate the activity if you are going to do the activity. It's hard to appreciate the activity because we're just going to present it. Anyway, perhaps we could share that in the next session, perhaps. Okay, the next one is the cards of course. Now in these cards of course, children or students are given card, say banana leaves, twigs or guavas, and they will think of it as to how are they going to use banana leaves in the evacuation area. Suppose, now the facilitator will give scenarios. Say for example, you don't have plates, and you have your card, you have your banana leaves. So you can use banana leaves as for your plate. Say for example, you don't have your toothbrush, so you may use your banana or your guava twigs for toothbrush. So that is in the cards of course. The next one is the ready, race. In this activity, it shows how to use and the water, the bottle, the plastic bottle, the empty plastic bottle, to use as floater. So in this activity, the children may be able to learn how to use plastic bottles as floater. And then the next one, the next picture, they are going to use the trash, the plastic trash bag as an improvised boots, so as to cause flood, to avoid leptospirosis. So that is how the children learn in this activity or this activity. The next one is the math that matters. So math is very common to us Filipinos. So instead of grade, they're just going to have math, and then so that's why it's called math. Now in this activity, the pupils, the children, or the students learn how to transport a victim using the mat. So they're no longer going to use stretcher and so on. So instead they're going to use mat. Oh no. Excuse me. Someone's calling. Excuse me. And then the next one is connect the objects. Now in this activity, the facilitator will show scenarios. And then they are going to choose object which would be applicable to that scenario. So as you can see at the background, there are living room, the other one, the bedroom, and then the dining room. So there are objects that can be found in those areas. Now the facilitator now will give scenario. What the children will do is to get objects and that will be used in that kind of scenario. So the next one is the tale they prepared. So it's just like a multiple choice type of test. So the facilitator will give scenarios as well, and then the children or the students will choose which one would be applicable to that scenario. So it's sort of a multiple choice type of test. Okay. So those are the activities and mobilities. Now, these are the significant results. So it has trained trained a total of 2,176 teachers, volunteers, and pupils, thereby contributing to the total number of persons in numbers of the days trained in the key results area, outputs of the college and the university that's approved. Now, let's go over 4 municipalities. As I mentioned a while ago, we do have 18 municipalities. So we do have 14 more to go. So a lot more work to be done. So so we need more, 14 more. However, we already covered the 3 component cities. So we already conducted training of trainers to these 3 component cities: Legazpi, Ligao, and Tabaco, which also contribute to the KRA 5 linkages and partnership of the college and the university. So among the 4 covered municipalities, Nalibon, Tili, Manito, and Santo Domingo, and the 3 component cities are included in the result of trainers, training for trainers. So it was Ligao City which conducted a series of rollout in different schools, targeting the 85 schools in the locality. So Ligao City is the one very active for the rollout to cover 85 schools in their locality. So good job, Ligao. And then the significant results, Ligao has likewise developed a localized technology, that was disaster preparedness, and readiness program using the Philippines model. So Legazpi City, Move Philippines was demonstrated to 9 public and private schools, and more schools are actually lined up to be visited by the program. So there are also our share to KRA 4 as the transfer technology. So these are significantly contributing to the development of the locality and the building resilient communities through education. So the best practices are, partnership was established with different stakeholders. Student volunteers were trained and mobilized as facilitators, inculcating social responsibility and sense of volunteerism. LGUs and other partner agencies provided funds to the program. So BU's counterpart is on technical assistance, training of teachers, volunteers, assisting actual conduct, monitoring, evaluation, and implementation of the program. And these are the problems encountered. So there is a need to conduct more trainings of trainers and volunteers. And because of this demand, the use of only one set of supplies and material supplies scheduled on the usage. And this problem, I think, has already been resolved. So some of the LGUs promised to give us financial support. And then BUC faculty likewise needs to conduct it during summer days so as not to disrupt classes during the weekdays. So these are the recommendations. So the interested local government units to purchase one set of the required supplies and materials chargeable against local DR and fund. And then the second one, conduct training of trainers for teachers and volunteers and in the municipality to meet the demand of the program in the locality. The third one is to train more BUC faculty, volunteers, and pupils from the college. Provide service credit to BU personnel involved for services during Saturday. Number 4 is quite self-serving, I think. Number 5, conduct research on localized version of the Move Philippines adapting the province lullaby, hazards, and the risk scenarios such as storm surge and the heart. And lastly, document the best practices of the municipality without city. Okay, in that note, the program is co-op in response to the goals of the ESA. So these are, I think, the response to the goals of the SDG, as you say. So the first one is to ensure well-being for all Americans at all levels, climate actions, peace, justice, and then strong institutions, and then partnership for the goals. So we can now link our program to the SDG, the goals for sustainable development. And then I will be leaving you some quotes. First one is, we cannot stop natural disasters, but we can arm ourselves with knowledge. So many lives wouldn't have to be lost if there was enough disaster preparedness. And the second quote, peace. Now I'm going to relate this to peace. Peace is not the work of a single day, nor will it be the consequence of a single act. Yet every constructive act contributes to its growth. Every emotion impedes it. Peace will come in the end. If it comes at all, as a child grows to maturity, slowly, imperceptibly, until we realize one day we incredibly surprised that the child is always growing. And lastly, is one. You can have peace when you know you are prepared, otherwise you will end up in RIP. Rest in peace. No. I just made that one. So, maraming salamat. Thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments from anyone? Yes, please, Jane.
This is not a question, but I'm really interested to replicate on what you did in the drill, emergency drill. Would there be a chance for us to get the mechanics and how you do it?
Sure. I'm going to talk about some later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Come on.
I'm not also going to ask my question.
Please stand up and use the microphone
Sorry.
and address to everybody.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to commend the presentation because it's really something that we can learn from. And my question is it also possible for us to replicate in our university? Because although our place is not that very much visited by typhoon, so we were able to experience the earthquake. So it would also be very important for our students to learn the drills that you were able to let your students experience. So I hope we can have partnership. We will invite you to Cebu and be able to demonstrate what you have taught to your students. Teach it to our students as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Anybody else want to come to Cebu? If you do your action plan well, you can come to Cebu.
Okay, so
Good.
actually there are already a lot of invitations coming from Bicol University. There is one in Bohol, then now in Bataan, then now in Cebu. So maybe we can go across nations. Yes. So it's actually a very interesting program, and a lot of children really learn from the strategies and methodologies that we are using. But of course, we thank JICA, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, and of course, Cagayan de Oro. It's Albay who is very active in the implementation of the program. But the two JICA volunteers already left for Japan, and another one is coming, and he actually coordinated with me na before I left for Bataan. And when I come back, he will be there again in the province on November 25 to, of course, continue the program. So there will always be a time to visit Bataan again, and of course to Cebu to conduct the training for you and of course disseminate the same technology to our clients, particularly the school children. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comments?